Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Best Friends Club Podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Charlotte.
And it took me a second to unmute. My name is Fizz. Hi.
Wow, so professional right off the bat.
It's so funny because I was in like a meeting previously, so I'm so used to keeping my mic muted as well. So I was like, oh, I'm fine. I'll just introduce myself, and then I couldn't unmute myself. It's cool. It's fine.
She's back. It's fine. We're all good to go.
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
We're back. It's another episode. We've been really good so far this year. The past like few weeks, we've had an upload
This
every
month,
week.
I would
Isn't that
say.
Crazy?
Consistency, yay!
Consistency is key. Someone said
Yeah.
that somewhere.
I think so. Yeah. I think it's like it's a very popular motivational thing. But no, we've been super good about it, thankfully.
We have.
Because we have a regular sort of recording schedule.
We do.
3 seasons in. Like
seasons in, we finally hit the jackpot. So, we were supposed to record yesterday, but had to change. And I was all ready to be like, Dan and Phil are boring. They haven't done anything at all. They've just been sat, holed up in their house. And yet they go and upload a video yesterday.
Yes. Obviously, like a sponsored thing they were supposed to put out because it was in the middle of the week.
Classic.
But it was a really fun one. It's not that long either. Just a fun little time with the girls.
Have you watched it yet? Obviously, it's...
I have.
You
have you?
I have. I watched it as soon as it came out.
Yeah, I was at Sinners. I was watching Sinners when it was uploaded.
I want to go and see it. Is it good?
It's my first 5 stars of the year. So.
Wow. See, I saw the plot and I was like, I don't know if this is for me, but everyone that I've heard who's been to it has said this is the best film I've ever seen in my life.
It really is. It's just a very good film. So I would recommend it, even if the thing is like it's not my scene either. Like I'm not a horror fan or like gore at all. And when I saw the trailers, I was kind of put off. But then the tickets were booked. I had no choice. I had to go.
You were forced.
I was forced by my brother, but then I had so much fun. So yeah, I want to watch it again. So definitely go watch it.
Okay, thank you. I think I might go next week with my brother. I'll see if he wants to go see it.
Yes. Okay.
You've influenced me, Fizz.
That's what I do.
Speaking of Sinners, Dan and Phil also went to see it at the cinema too. Isn't that crazy? We had our first like Dan and Phil in the Wild spotting that we've had in ages.
Isn't it so funny that like I feel like they say they don't go out much, so every time they do, they get like people meet them.
Mm-hmm. It is crazy, like that they just don't go out. I'm like, boys, you live in London. The things you can do, like,
I know.
Go and live your life. Go outside.
Some of us don't have that, so
no. But yeah, the video yesterday was great. I can't wait to get around to discussing that in another 25 years.
And then we'll do all of the gaming videos.
Yeah, when we've exhausted all the thing is, because if they do the rebrand, all of the content that they then do will just be joint content. So, where does it stop? Where does it end?
That's true. At some point, we're gonna run out of past stuff. So
yeah.
We were discussing this actually before, when we were planning that there's going to be a period of time where there's no joint content, and so we can sort of do a few like bonus episodes.
Or maybe we'll have our own 3-year hiatus and then come back.
Go back. Why not?
Yeah.
That'd be funny. We'll go on tour.
We'll do our own podcast tour, because by then we'll have our own podcast studio and we'll have like 3,000,000 followers on all of our social media accounts. So people will want to see us on tour.
We'll have our meet and greet.
We'll have a meet and greet.
Photo cards, all of it.
The actual live show will be us on a stage, and we pick like 2 joint videos to live watch and react to.
That's actually such a good concept. Should I write it down?
Write it down quick.
Write it down. Write it down.
So that when this happens in like 25 years, we'll be ready to go.
Okay.
We'll start a Kickstarter. People can help us fund it, and we will go on tour. The majority of that money will probably go towards Fizz's flights to this country, if she isn't already living here.
If I'm not okay, so that's the goal, right? So in the hiatus, I will move.
You will move,
and then
yeah.
And then we'll get the studio, in-person studio.
In-person studio, and then tour coming. What will that be? Like 2043? I don't know.
Wow.
Something like that.
Long term.
Anyway, forget about 2043. Shall we go back to 2015, Fizz?
Let's. A simpler time.
Wasn't that a good segue?
It was.
Thank you.
You're ruining it by asking me this.
Yeah, but if you don't acknowledge that it's a good segue, then how are you supposed to know that it's a good segue? Like, you should have gasped in awe when I said that. You've been like, whoa!
Okay, let's do it again.
Go back, quick. So, 2015, Fizz. Let's go back in time. What are Dan and Phil doing?
They're doing their very first Easter video.
Crazy.
Yeah, today's video, in case you didn't know, and we're a bit late on this because Easter in real time was last weekend.
It was. If we'd planned it better, we would have uploaded this already, but we didn't plan.
It's fine. We're doing Easter baking, extreme triple chocolate NESTS.
Yeah, you have to shout. Yeah, you have to shout that last bit because it's in all caps.
And they do many times.
Yes.
Extreme. So this video was uploaded on the 4th of April, 2015. I'm assuming around Easter.
I presume it was. Easter changes every year, but I presume that this was either just before or on Easter.
On Easter, yeah. And right off the bat, I just want to say they look really nice. I don't know what the lighting is,
but they do look really good.
They look really fresh and happy. And the vibes are much better than the last video we discussed.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to that episode, yeah, the vibes were really all over the place in Blindfolded Makeup Challenge. It was not one of my favourites. And then going straight into this as their next immediate piece of joint content that they uploaded. I mean, I will say, obviously, that was the Easter baking was the 4th of April, and the Blindfolded Makeup Challenge was the 12th of March. So there has been a whole month in between, but the vibes in this one, immaculate, impeccable.
I don't know what it is. I want to theorize that it's an amazing fill of it all. Like, the energy is just
I keep saying that the Blindfolded Makeup Challenge was a dud because it was on Dan Is Not On Fire.
I'm saying I think Dan kept his Dan Is On Fire persona up in that video, and in this one he's kind of just Dan Phil Games Dan.
Interesting theory. I would partly agree with that.
Hypothesis. I'm just putting it. We can discuss further.
We're theorizing.
Theorizing.
So, as I just mentioned, there has been a whole month between this video and their previous one, and Dan and Phil did not have a quiet month.
No, they no. 2015 was wild in March.
So Dan and Phil have announced Tabanoff and Tatanoff all at the same time. We have done a whole episode about Tatanoff, if you want to go back and have a listen to that. When we get to the making of Tabanoff video that they did, we will have a whole discussion about Tabanoff. So you're going to have to wait for another 3-4 months. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. It'll come though. We'll try, since we're so regular, we will get
good things come to those who wait.
Patience is a virtue.
But yeah, so they've announced that, which I don't know if that maybe they were riding the high of that announcement and everybody's excitement, and that sort of bled into this video a bit, maybe.
That's a good theory. Maybe. But they were very high spirits in this video. They were really excited. Immediately bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
Energy. Just saying anything.
I think it's just the energy that comes with a baking video. I really don't know what it is, but it's like they go a bit crazy.
Yeah. I also think they've had, or at least Phil has had sugar. So he is buzzing the whole time.
He's buzzing and raring to go. And he opens the video by saying, "Grab your fluffiest lamb and give birth to an egg."
It never ends.
It never ends. And I said, I wrote my note for that bit was, Phil is never beating the pregnancy allegation.
We said it in that episode as well. We were like, they've been trying so hard for years. And you know what? They really have. We weren't kidding.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. So, and Dan is dressed as a terrifying Easter bunny. He puts a horrible mask on, which is awful. So scary.
So scary. So scary. Did they use it in anything else, or is it just for that video? I feel like maybe in a calendar?
They didn't wear it in the calendar though. Dan wore that Easter bunny costume, but he just had some ears on his head.
Okay. See, they just had it and kept it.
Yeah, very strange. Very, very strange. Phil forces Dan to take the Easter bunny head off because it's too terrifying, and then Dan is covered in lots and lots of fluff, and Phil just starts pruning him like a monkey.
And then they say Dan Phil monkey pruning fanfic.
Yeah.
And my first note about that was just like, okay, girl. Alright.
Where is that fanfic? I have not seen that. I did not see that back in 2015.
Where is it? Who wrote it? Someone must have.
Someone must have wrote it. If not, someone needs to write it now. 10 years on. Give us like... And then they played Split Fiction where Dan's character was a monkey. Oh my god, it's all coming back round. Someone write the monkey. The monkey AU. Dan is a poor monkey boy and Phil is hybrid. Monkey boy hybrid, and Phil is the like poor boy from the village who meets Dan in the jungle.
Yep. Legalized monkey boys. Next merch.
Legalized monkey boys. Is that even a thing? Monkey boys should be a thing. Wait, are we not like...
Are we not
technically already like monkey boys? Like, are we not already like a monkey hybrid because we evolved from monkeys?
That it's too early for you to see these things.
It's too early. It's like mid-afternoon for you.
For you.
Yeah, but I'm posing the question. This is the kind of conversations I want to have in the morning. Let us know down below, guys. Do you think down below, as if this is a YouTube video, you can
it is.
Yeah. Let us know. Are we technically monkey hybrids as human beings, or do we need to legalize monkey boys? It's a shame that we have to. It's a shame we have to like title the episodes what like the video is, because otherwise, I think a great title for this episode would be "Legalize Monkey Boys." Just completely out of context.
Nothing to do with it. It's just a throwaway comment in the first minute of the video. Yeah, maybe we can. I don't know. We'll get creative with it. Like we can still, it'll be a long title.
Easter baking, extreme triple chocolate next, # legalize monkey boys.
Maybe in the description.
In the description. That will be our social media post. Yeah, that'll be the poll of the week. Should we legalize monkey boys? Yes or no? Give your answers.
Yep. And you have to listen to find out.
To find the context. That's what will happen. We'll draw people in. People will be like, why is it Dan and Phil podcast talking about monkey boys? I want to know what the goss is. And they'll come and listen.
Yeah. Moving on. We appreciate Dan's decorations.
It's Easter as fuck.
Yes. And they bleep that, but yes.
They bleep that and Phil says, you can't say that on this channel.
Oh, you can't say that. Yeah. And then you see that it's mostly just like pictures of things. So Phil's like, what, you use a printer? And I think that moment was like very natural just that moment had better vibes than most of the blindfolded makeup challenge video.
Wow. The shade.
Boom, 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 boom.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
I did write this actually exactly at this point as well. The vibes in this video are immaculate and it feels so natural and normal. And the vibes in this video feel almost similar to the vibes that we have today.
I agree. I completely agree. It's like those introductions that they do that are so long before they get to their point.
Yeah. And it's just them having a chit chat.
Yep. But then they do get into it, kind of. Like, this is a very straightforward video.
I will just say one of my other favourite bits before that, of they're pointing out the decorations and they point out the chick that is on the cupboard door. And Phil looks at it and he's like, this chick looks like it wants me to die. And then Phil with a silly voice and is like, die, Philip, die. And then Dan lets out this like huge, enormous laugh and is like, you are such a strange person.
And he's not wrong.
He's not, but oh my god, it's so like sweet and like sincere. Like you can feel that it's a genuine reaction from Dan.
Yeah. Yeah, I also wrote like it's such a fun thing to say in the way that he said it. He's like, die, Philip, die. Yeah, so fun. So the premise of this video is that they are making a sweet treat, and they're not baking at all.
Yeah,
there's no baking.
Which is maybe why it goes so well.
I think that exactly. I think everything that they've done, other than the first initial brownies, everything else has kind of been like they've over baked a lot of the stuff that they've made or done something wrong. But like refrigerating things, super easy. It's like,
yeah, it's something they can manage.
Yeah, they are very good at melting chocolate and then refrigerating it.
And a Bain Marie. They're obsessed with the Bain Marie.
They are obsessed with the Bain Marie.
So obviously it's not a Dan and Phil baking video if Phil isn't, or if both of them really are not introducing the ingredients in the most convoluted and bizarre way possible. Fizz, what's the name of a female sheep?
You.
What do you write when you're going to die?
Will.
And what do you do to bread when you're with the dough?
With the dough to make it good?
Yeah.
You knead it.
Yeah. You will need. Here are the ingredients that you will need. Phil's mind is crazy. What a place to live that would be.
I know. To be inside his mind for like even a minute. I think
a minute would be enough, to be honest. I think there's too much going on. So I think at the same time there is too much going on in there and also nothing going on in there.
That's so mean, but like, yeah.
But yeah, accurate. Am I not right?
Yeah, like
I mean like, nothing in the nicest way possible. Like his mind is free. He's not thinking about anything. He just does.
Yeah, it's just circus music in there. Elevator music.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation. Music. Yeah. Like Dan speaking and he's just like dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Exactly. And I love that for him. That's so good.
Same. I wish that was me.
So they introduce the ingredients. I have a really fun little note that I picked up on when I was watching this video that I don't know if you picked up on it as well. So I think they introduce the ingredients. Again, there's nothing too crazy. They're a bit silly with it. I don't know if this is like towards the end of that section or if it's at the beginning, but they hold up a pan. And Dan says, I'm pretty sure it's Dan, he says, you will need a pan. And then Dan says, not Japan, a pan. And I thought,
I noted that too. Yeah.
I was like, oh, have they announced they're going to Japan yet? No. This was before they announced that they were going to Japan in the live show. And I was like, that is so sneaky, because he definitely wouldn't have said that if they weren't thinking about Japan, I don't think.
Yes,
do you agree?
I completely agree. I think they had probably been... They would have booked things. They have to do all of this way in advance, don't they?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So, on the mind, definitely.
But how crazy is that? Like, that's so weird. I literally had to pause it and like go back and do like research to find out when did this come out in comparison to the Japan announcement.
Right. Yeah, no, it was just before, because they were in Japan the 10th of April, so it was
it was literally days before. Crazy, aren't they crazy?
Easter eggs, they've always been like this, just letting you guys know.
Easter eggs, so fitting.
I didn't even notice that.
Speaking of utensils that they talk about the bowls that they need, and Dan puts them on his chest as if they are bowl boobs. And again, I had a flashback to the cinnamon roll, Simon's had the cinnamon roll video.
Did the same thing, yeah.
He does the exact same thing. But Phil's reaction in this video, he says, "You will not disgrace the Easter Bunny," and is very anti-bowl boobs. Whereas I think we will all agree that his reaction to the bowl boobs in the cinnamon roll video is the complete opposite.
Yeah, doesn't he like tap them or something? Like,
he does tap them, and he literally loses his mind over how ridiculous it is.
Just the difference between
the duality of man.
The duality of man. It's just pre-living your truth and post-living your truth. And the thing is, Phil's truth is he likes the bowls. That's all I'll say.
He's a tit man. What can we say? If he was a woman, a lesbian woman, he would love tits.
Yep.
He's a tit man and Dan's an ass man.
And that's why they work so well.
Exactly.
They work really well together.
Every couple needs one that loves tits and one that loves the ass.
Thank you. That's a very intellectual observation. Very astute.
And the thing is true for Dan and Phil, because is there a video that goes by where Dan doesn't talk about how thick Phil's ass is? No.
Even in this one, I think.
Even in this one, I think he says something.
Not in this one. I mean, sorry, the one that they had just put out.
Yeah, I think
it's there. He says something about thighs.
It's like Dan go 10 minutes without talking about Phil's ass challenge failed.
Impossible. Like days without talking about it. 0.
It's like, cool, why do you love it so much? Do you want to tell us why? List your reasons.
I never want to know. He can keep that himself. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyway.
I've never had an Easter nest, whatever this is. I've never had it.
Have you not? I mean, I've never had one of the ones that they've made, but making these kind of things, I mean, is like classic childhood baking in the UK. Like Rice Krispie cakes or cornflake cakes. Any cereal.
That they also do. Yeah.
Yeah. Any cereal, basically, with some melted chocolate and then decorate it with whatever you want. That is a very classic, like, easy kids baking to do.
That's so cute. I kind of want to do it now. All of these things sound very delicious to me. But very sweet.
So I watched it. They showed all the ingredients. They literally use Lindt chocolate to melt down to make these Easter nets. And I was like, okay, who are these millionaires that they're using Lindt chocolate just to melt and put in these Easter baking? Like, are we made of money?
Apparently. Yeah, same. I noticed that too. And they were like 3 full bars.
3 full bars. Crazy.
Of chocolate, yeah.
Lindt chocolate is so expensive.
It is. I only ever have it if someone like gifts it to me. I never bought it myself. I don't think. At least. But yeah, crazy. I'm so jealous. Rob list. Danful, Rob list.
Rob list. I mean, there's lots of things I would like to rob from their house.
Fair enough, yeah.
I feel like the Lindt chocolate would be right at the bottom of that list.
It's on the list though. I'm sure they always have little like sweet treats around the house.
Phil lives in their house, of course. There is always a sweet treat. But Phil can't eat chocolate anymore, can he? He doesn't eat chocolate because it gives him migraines. True. That's why Dan couldn't have a chocolate birthday cake.
Correct. Okay. Now he Now he has fudge.
Now he has fudge. He has his fudge. What a cute little guy. I'm speaking of Phil eating chocolate. Phil, as expected of Phil Lester, he eats half the bag of mini eggs before they've even started baking.
Yes, and there's also just like consequences of his actions. We'll see at the end.
Yeah.
Usually they're like okay about it, but then this time they literally
not.
don't have enough eggs.
So. Yeah. Have you had mini eggs, Fizz? Do you have mini eggs?
Yes. They are usually also sold around Easter, and they're very good.
They are elite. I'm assuming that most people who have listened to this podcast will have probably tried mini eggs, even if you don't live in the UK. They are.
I also.
Delish.
I have tried. Yeah, they're like Cadbury mini eggs, right? This is Cadbury.
Yes.
Because I was in Birmingham, and they have a factory in Birmingham. And so I went there on a tour and I bought mini eggs. Like I bought a bunch of chocolate, but I also bought mini eggs because I'd never had them. So the first time I had them was in the UK. Fun Fizz fact.
That's a very fun Fizz fact.
I was also in the UK 10 years ago. That was a 2015 thing for me. We'll get into it.
That's so sad. I can't believe that we weren't friends then. R.I.P.
You know what's funny? We were. We had just started talking.
Had we? Oh no.
Yeah.
That's even more sad.
I know.
I would have come to Cadbury World with you. That would have been fun.
I know. Unfortunately, I was like 17, so I wasn't allowed to go anywhere by myself.
I would have just gone to Cadbury World and then just happened to bump into you. Like, oh my god, Fizz, that's crazy. What are you doing here?
That could have been so cute. Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well.
Missed chances. Yeah.
Sliding door moment, whatever, etc. I made a note on this little section. So it's just after they finish introducing all the ingredients. Dan is like leaning up against the oven and he sort of like turns around and he like looks at the camera and he just looks like really seductive. And I'm like, why are we doing this in a baking video? And it's just so fascinating that this sort of sexy energy has like carried its way through multiple baking videos.
Yeah. It's become such a theme. I think it's that not to put her in this context, but also just like I think the last one they did was with Nigella Lawson's recipe. So I think that energy is sort of just transferred to Dan. He's like, I'm the Nigella Lawson of the Danville Bakes universe. I don't think she's on purpose being that way. Maybe she is. Maybe that's the branding. I haven't seen
Nigella I think it's Lawson. All just part of her image.
So I think he's emulating that. He's moved on from Delia, and now he's like, I'm Nigella.
He is embodying the spirit of Nigella.
Yes, and I
Delia
think Sister
Smith
Daniel comes from like that sort of in the baking contest.
In the baking context, Sister Daniel's baking like superstar is Nigella Lawson. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, connecting dots.
I don't know if you noticed in this video, but Dan literally can't keep his eyes off Phil. Like, all he's doing is looking at him.
Yeah, I guess. Again, it's just the start of just like seeing one side of his face forever.
Yeah.
We just have not seen the other side at all.
It's just so interesting. Like, there's just such a change in energy from this video to the last one. And I think this I'm not saying that this marked like a change, but again, it's just like, it's like a baking video phenomenon. Like, something about baking videos brings some energy out of them that we don't see. Like, obviously we have the iconic Cake Pops video that we will be getting to at some point that like marked a huge change and a literal like defining moment in fandom life of pre-Monster Pops video and a post-Monster Pops, whatever they are, like universe. And even now, like going back and watching this feels like such a huge shift from the blindfolded makeup challenge. And again, I don't know if there was, like we discussed, because that video was like a spawn, maybe there was a sort of different energy that they had, but yeah, just crazy.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think each video from now on, it's just gonna be a huge shift over and over. Like, and I just think I believe that it's the gaming channel that's doing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? It's just more comfortable being on camera with each other, having that banter, and then that transferring to their personal channels as well. So
No,
like
I
that
agree.
blur, yeah, that line just sort of gets blurred a bit. It's not there on Danny Fire yet, but on Amazing Phil it is. I think just because it's a more casual, less skit like
Yeah.
channel.
There's whimsy on Amazing Phil. There is no whimsy on Dan Is Not on Fire.
No, not yet, at least. Not ever. Well, sometimes.
Maybe sometimes.
Not yet.
So then we get a lovely little bit where Phil speaks in a fun little northern accent, which I love. I think I have mentioned on this podcast before, but I yearn for Northern Phil, and I love it whenever he talks in his northern accent and returns back to his northern roots.
Yeah, I know. And we don't get to see it that often anymore because of the convergence that has happened.
Yeah, so sad. How dare Dan ruin Phil's gorgeous northern accent?
We're blaming. We're playing the blame game. That's how that happened.
This is the only time I will hate Dan for taking Phil's northern accent away from us.
Oh. Fair enough.
So they start doing their baking. They say they need softened butter to be making this. And they were like, oh, how do you soften butter? And Phil has mentioned that he put it in his pocket. And then they come to actually use the butter. And Dan asks Phil if he put the butter in his pocket. And Phil is just so, he says, he replies like, yeah, I have. But he says it in such like a chilled, silly way. It's so funny.
Yeah, and I think it's very like authentically Phil. It's not amazing.
It's very aloof.
Yeah, and then I think they turn off their video voices and they're like, did you actually do it? And he's like, no.
So quick to deny the rumours that Phil doesn't put butter in his pocket.
The allegations that they start.
Yeah. They're talking about that you need shredded wheat for the baking, for the Easter NESTS. And I can't remember who I think Dan says, what do you do if you don't have your own shredded wheat? And Phil is like, shred your own wheat. Grow your own.
Yeah, no, I really like that bit because I've always really liked that, the way they do that, because it's so unscripted, but it sounds, again, like a bit. So Phil goes like, you can shred your own wheat, and then responds with, just grow your own, just grow your own wheat and shred it.
Grow your own wheat and shred it.
Yeah. Good advice, solid advice.
Very good advice.
From people who have never cooked in their lives.
Who've never cooked or grown a single food.
Who kill houseplants, famously.
They kill plants and they don't grow them. They obviously start crumbling the wheat into the lovely chocolate. Phil always washes his hands, Fizz, as we learned in this video. He's always washing his hands.
Always. Constantly. We don't
Constantly
see it,
washing.
Even when he doesn't need to, he does it.
Because he's good like that. Hygiene.
It's important.
He was ahead of the game with COVID. He was doing it before it was popular.
Thank God. It's good to know. Whenever I find out that people just like, this is a very short tangent, but it's such an ick to me when people don't cough or sneeze into their elbow. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Just sneezing out there in the wild. Crazy. They carry on with the baking. Phil does a random little, it comes up right up to the screen, to the camera, and he says, let's do that again, Jeremy.
that has spin-off energy.
It does. It's so bizarre. It's such a random little thing because it doesn't cut. He says it and then just like falls back into like normal Phil mode afterwards. So they just carry on with their baking.
Yeah, that's one thing. Just like bouncing off the walls. The energy here it's quite pin-off actually. It's pin-off baking.
Pin-off baking. That would be so chaotic.
If they answered questions well, I don't think their brains could handle it. They're too.
No.
They don't have the brain
cells.
They can't multitask. They don't have the brain cells for it. But
they can just about do this on its own.
yeah.
And you want to throw questions into the mix as well?
I think it'd be funny.
We then get to another favourite bit of this video that I had since rewatching it.
Mm-hmm.
Phil comes on screen. Because they're mixing the chocolate and Phil doesn't want to get chocolate on his nice clothes. So he puts an apron on, but the apron is of definitely like a fully naked man. And there's a little shot, I don't know if you noticed this, of Phil off the camera and Dan is on camera. And there's like a little tiny frame where Dan's eyes like are looking across at Phil, and you see his eyes like look down to like where Phil's crotch would be on the apron.
Right.
And I noted this as a soft lunch. That's a soft lunch of the gay.
It's very soft though, because I didn't notice that. I was like, whoa.
Wow. Maybe you should go back and rewatch it.
Maybe I should. It's a good video. I'll do it regardless.
And then obviously Phil comes on wearing the apron that is, I think it's a fully naked torso, because he says that the camera cannot go any lower. So it's either fully naked or there's a very noticeable bulge in the underwear
or
of the
something,
apron.
Yeah. And they've had
something
that for
crazy.
Years. I think there's a picture of him wearing it while making pancakes or something. It's a very famous.
Yeah, I have a vague
apron.
memory of that.
They've had that
very
for years.
Very famous apron.
Yeah.
I need to know who bought it. Was it a gift? Did they buy it?
It looks like a gag gift, doesn't it? Like
Absolutely.
I don't think they're spending money on it. That being said, I would like Fan Outfits to find it. I don't think you can find it now.
I'm on it. I'll find it.
I don't think you can
There will be alternatives that I can find. I will go on the hunt.
Thank you so much, Fan Outfit.
So, we're assembling part of the NESTS now, and we get some lovely songs from the Dan and Phil album.
Mm-hmm.
As they're like pouring the chocolate, Dan sings a lovely song where he says, "I want to pour it all over my naked body."
Well, I was gonna say, like, what do you think of the music? I think it's lesser known in the universe from this video specifically.
Yeah. No, I would agree.
Some deep cuts, which are kind of forgettable, because other than the one that you just said, I don't remember most of them.
Well, the other one, Phil does a little song as well that I did remember when I watched it, because he says it in such like a weird voice. Spooning the milky weeds onto the darker base. Yeah. So bizarre how these little songs are just like sort of little earworms that, like, as soon as I hear them, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah. So yeah, deep cuts that you should know as a fan.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
What? Oh, he says something so strange that Dan does point out, where they smell the golden syrup, I think, and then he says, "I want to have it pumped into my coffin."
Yeah, he wants to have it pumped into his coffin, and Dan is like, "Why would you say that? Why would you not like bottled as a perfume?"
Yeah, and everything he says in that sentence is very pleasing to me. He was like, "Pumped into your coffin." You could have said bottled. I was like, the way he's saying it is very pleasing to me. Thank you for saying it like that. But he's right. Very strange sentence.
Very, very strange. We have a little comment as well, but poor Phil is suffering from laryngitis, and that's why he has a sexy, husky voice.
And then Dan says, "You're husky, sensual," and then cuts himself off. I was like, okay, cool. Again,
the rest of what he could said was not safe for camera.
Yeah, and he also says it like every single time Phil has laryngitis, which is such a funny sentence to say. Like every single time Phil
man is just destined to be ill, no matter what. It's, like, he had bronchitis earlier this year, laryngitis, all the itises.
All the itises. He just what did Dan call it? His New Year's attention-seeking illness.
Yeah.
Just before going to Japan as well. So sad.
I know, but I think he must have been better in Japan, because.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, I didn't notice anything in like the Japan vlog, but they did.
Yeah. I think he's fine, but he must have gone sick on the way back, knowing Phil.
Mm-hmm. So they have assembled their Easter nest, and it's time to leave them in a cool place. And we get a fun little joke from Dan where he says, "What, my bedroom?"
Oh.
And Phil immediately does an eye roll. And then he goes into like, sort of like, I think it's sort of like, he's sort of said things similarly in like a similar tone recently. It's sort of like Diva Phil, where he's like, you can, this is like an actual grown adult. He's like, he does an eye roll and he was like, "We'll put them in the fridge."
Yeah, like bossy. I think
Bossy,
Diva
stinky
is
baby.
like bossy, stinky baby, exactly.
Stinky baby Diva Phil.
Yes. Love that context now. I love that we have the phrase.
Yeah. I'm so glad that Dan introduces to the phrase stinky baby.
Stinky baby.
Oh, that was such a good... I think we spoke about it, I don't know if we spoke about it when we did that video, but I remember, I think I saw like a Tumblr post where people looked at Phil's reaction when Dan said the phrase stinky baby, and they were like, oh, you can tell that like Phil wasn't expecting Dan to say this and like sort of reveal this like personal lore that they both have. And he's like, "Wait, why are you telling the world that you call me a stinky baby? Like, that's only between us."
Oh, yeah. But I'm so grateful.
Disgusting.
This is what I live for. Like, live your days with gratitude. I'm grateful that we know that.
Me too.
Thank you. Yeah. I agree. I think that's very diva tone that we got a glimpse of, but we just didn't have a name for it at the time.
Exactly. And now we do. Stinky baby.
And now we do. So while they're decorating, I like that they have this understanding of when they're putting the eggs, they say how many things per thing, and then Phil says 3 per thing, and Dan's like, okay, 3 per thing. I have that in quotes. I don't know why. I just really like that exchange between them. 3 per thing.
But it's not 3 per thing, is it? Because Phil decided to eat some of the mini eggs.
Yes. At the end, they have 2 to 1.
Disappointing. Very disappointing.
Yeah. But no, it's such a cute like decoration as well. Like even the thing that they put the nests in, like the half of the egg with the flowers.
That looks like so a coffin for a guinea pig.
Yes, that one. Also, the shot of Dan like holding the egg.
Yeah, I wrote this as well.
In so many edits.
And he says, "Oh, I feel like we conceived this," and I was like, "Oh, I'm sure that that's what you thought."
Oh, it never ends.
It never ends. That's what I mean. Mpreg is there for everyone with eyes to see it. The pregnancy is there for everyone who is willing to look.
Yeah, and it's again like it's that phrasing of we did that. Like it's ours. Calm down. It's not like, oh, I did this. It's like us together.
So I wrote a note towards the end of this video. I don't know if a particular moment happened in the video that prompted me to write this, but I just wrote, "They look like a married couple."
They look like they're about to be engaged.
Yeah.
I will just say that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Apparently that's when they, Japan on the horizon. Which is so funny that I wrote that now, because I found some of my tweets from the time about this video, and I presume that this would have been after I'd watched it. I put in a tweet, how are they actually married? Did they get married in secret or something? Did they wear suits? I need answers. In 20...
It was just the energy.
No. Crazy.
But you're right. I want to see if I was doing or saying anything. I was not.
Okay.
I was just enjoying the video.
You were just enjoying the vibes. You were thinking they were married, but in your head, you weren't broadcasting that to the world.
Oh, do you know where I was on the 4th of April?
Where?
I was watching One Direction in concert. I just remembered that.
Like live or
live. I was at that concert.
Wow.
That like immediately doxes me. Please don't look up where they were on the 4th of April. But
oh my god, that is so funny. The duality, man. Some of us at home watching Dan and Phil, others are at a One Direction concert.
Yeah, so it must have been. So if they had uploaded post midnight, I was probably exhausted.
Didn't Zayn leave One Direction as well, like
yes,
in a couple of weeks?
Yeah. No. So I was one of the first shows where he wasn't there.
Wow! Yeah. Oh my god! What an honor, Fizz. That's crazy.
I mean, we were pretty sad, but we got a very unique concert.
Yeah, I bet. Wow! Oh my god, exclusive.
Oh, that's so funny. I can't believe I forgot that I had seen One Direction.
So that's why you hadn't watched this when it had come out.
I was asleep. I was post-concert passed out. So please forgive me.
What a nice treat that would have been when you were awake.
Yeah, I woke up and suddenly there's a baking video.
Crazy.
So
we get to the end of the video. They've made their Easter nests and they try them. I made a note that Dan eats it, but he doesn't moan. There's no sexy Dan moan. And I was like, are you okay, Dan? Is something wrong?
There is, though, when he's early in the video, when he has the spoon, he makes a face. Yes. And that face is very famous. That's a very popular.
He does a little moan then, but not when he's actually trying the Easter treats.
No. It's a bit sacred. I think his inner Catholic kind of it's raised Catholicness was just maybe I don't do this for the Easter video. Internalized.
Maybe. He didn't want to offend Jesus.
Maybe. He's changed a lot since then.
He really has. The video then ends with a lovely high five, but it's not an ordinary high five, is it, Fizz?
No, it's an Easter high five.
It's an Easter high five that Phil definitely came up with at that moment. Of turning your hands, put your fingers and thumbs together to make an Easter egg shape, and then clashing the egg.
And then you go cling!
Cling!
It was very uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable, and it's not going in the high five dictionary.
Decidedly.
That's what Phil says.
Yeah, decidedly, it's not. And then, of course, and then they realize that they haven't talked about Davidoff on Amazing Film. So they do a little promo.
Yeah, a smooth segue. Yeah. Almost as smooth as my earlier segue.
It's true. Almost as good. I don't think they're as good as we and you particularly can be at segues.
Thank you. What a compliment.
And then they end the video. They're like, bye, and they leave.
And they leave, and that's the end of Easter baking. What a fantastic video.
I agree. It's just...
So go from blindfolded makeup to this. Beautiful. What a transition.
Beautiful. And it just goes on up from there. I don't think... unless I'm forgetting, I don't think the vibes get worse. I think they just...
I don't think they do. How can they get worse? Tabanoff is coming. Tatanoff's on the way. Yeah, they're about to go to Japan.
They're about to
on their holiday of a lifetime.
The first time. And then, they're about to have, the summer of all time, ever. The summer of all time.
The summer of all time.
Yeah, and then, things about to get really good. That being said, I think this is the best Easter video. There are more.
Yeah. But this one has the most views.
Yes, you had mentioned. I don't know if you mentioned it during the episode or in our talk before.
I think it was before we started recording, yeah. So this Easter baking has the most views out of all of their other Easter baking videos, which is crazy. So this one has 7.5 million views. And Easter baking bunny biscuits, which I don't even remember, has 2.3 million views.
Easter bunny? Is that the meringue?
No, the meringues is a separate one, and then they do bunny biscuits.
I don't remember that one at all. I remember the hair, but I don't remember anything else. Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to those when we do, but I understand why this would have. It's very memorable.
It is. I've just been on YouTube, and YouTube have this thing where it highlights 4 key moments in this video. Would you like me to read out what YouTube thinks are the 4 key moments in this video?
Please tell me.
The first is labor. So it's a screenshot of a screen cap from the video with the timestamp and then just a phrase. So the first one is a baking tray. The next key moment is 1.5 tablespoons of golden syrup.
Uh-huh.
The third one is bag of uneaten mini eggs.
And
then the last one is spoon in your first layer.
Just
cool. Great. I don't know what that means, YouTube, but thank you so much for sharing that with the group.
Thank you so much. I disagree with some of this. I think there are much better key moments.
I'd argue that those are all the 4 key moments in that video, actually, Fizz.
Oh, okay, fine. On different sides of this. I personally think that a key moment in this video is that's hard. When
the whole video.
Yeah. A lot of it.
So shall we do some clothes rankings, outfit rankings?
Yes, let's do it.
So Phil is wearing this gorgeous, like, tealy blue shirt. I love it. And it's getting a 9 out of 10 from me.
Same. I gave them both the same score. So 9 out of 10 for both.
I gave down a bit lower because it's just like a costume. It's not really doing anything for him. So I just gave that a 7.
Oh, okay. So I gave them both a 9 for staying on theme. And just
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think I like that Dan wasn't just. I think if he had shown up, it would have been in like a white plain t-shirt or something. But I appreciate that it was a plain white bunny costume.
Yeah, I love the bunny costume.
Yeah, and I'm grateful that he put the flower crown on. I think that's like an extra boost.
The flower crown, so I tweeted about this. So obviously Dan wears the flower crown for the whole video. And then at the end, Phil is wearing the flower crown.
What happened between those jump cuts?
What happened? And I made a tweet. I was like, Phil wearing the flower crown at the end that Dan had been wearing the entire video. Nice.
Nice. Just nothing else.
Just nothing else. Just nice.
Love it. Love it. We weren't analysts then, so we were just like, nice.
No. So, shall we move on to the final video ratings?
Yes, I'm excited.
No, we've watched. I'm also excited to do some ratings for this. Fizz, how many? Do you know what? We'll just go classic. Fizz, how many Easter nests out of 10? Are you going? No, sorry. How many extreme triple chocolate nests out of 10 will you give this video?
I would give this video a 8.5 extreme triple chocolate nests out of 10. 8.5.
Okay.
How many? I can't say it. It's such a tongue twister. How many extreme triple chocolate nests would you give this video, Charlotte?
I don't know. I think possibly I might go the same as you.
8.5?
I think an 8. 8.5, yeah.
Which is really good.
I love this video. Like, watching back, I haven't watched this in years, so watching it back, I loved it. I thought, as we've said numerous times throughout this entire episode, the vibes are just great. And I think, like we said as well, there's this huge shift, I think, that comes in 2015 with the content that they make and how they're interacting with each other on camera and just together in general. And I also made a note as well, I think, I don't have scientific research to back this up, but I'm 100% sure that 2015 was the year that the Demon Fanny phrase was born.
Oh, I think so too. I think that is when that happened.
Because I joined. So I've made my fan Twitter account now, so we're going to have lots more insights into Charlotte's funny mind.
Yes. Okay.
Coming for the next videos. And I remember, like, making that account and, like, Demon Fanny becoming a thing. And, like, watching this video, I can totally see why the phrase Demon Fanny became a thing. Because how could it not?
Yeah.
If you go back and watch this video now in sort of like a 2015 mindset, yeah, it's so clear that why people were going feral over them back in 2015.
And why there's like a differentiation between like that and just like being regular crazy. Just like okay about them. They're like, oh yeah, that seems like a thing, and then the other side was just like foaming at the mouth at their antics.
Yeah. I think I'm going to reclaim the phrase demon fanning.
I
It
really
got a lot
like
of bad
it.
rep from people.
I really like it.
From the anti-shippers that thought that we should just leave Dan and Phil alone.
Yeah.
But I'm going to reclaim it.
Same. But yeah, so speaking of Demon Fanny, I feel like the next episode is going to be super unhinged. Can you tell the people what is happening with us next time?
So, our next episode, we are going to be discussing the Japan Day in the Life. It's a Japan diddle.
Japan diddle.
Swiftly followed by a Japan haul. We are going to split them up because I feel like the Japan diddle episode on its own will be a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend hours. I'm going to find some free time and I'm going to research the heck out of this video. I want all the fandom lore from the time because this video was a huge, huge, like monumental occasion in Fanny life.
It's true. It was like our first major, like, oh my god, they're going on holiday and they're sharing their holiday.
Yeah.
It was so strange. It was such a fun time to be.
Yeah. So we want to give this episode the
time, dedication,
the time that it deserves. So if we are a little bit late with uploading that because we need to schedule in the proper time, then bear with us. But you will get this video, we promise.
Yes. But yeah, so that's coming. Super exciting. We hope you.
Very exciting.
This one.
We hope you enjoyed listening to us discuss Easter baking extreme triple chocolate nests.
I feel like we need like sound effects.
Yeah, explosions, gunshots, a dog barking, a cat screaming. All of that.
Yeah.
Alarms, everything. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. Give us a comment, give us a like, follow us. We don't promo on Twitter and Tumblr. Go follow us on Twitter, Tumblr, Blue Sky, Best Friends Club Podcast, all of that good stuff. Come join our little club. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. And bye.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.